Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today and taking time out of your busy schedule. I want to welcome our panel that's with me. I have Cathy Richman, Susan Jarboe, and Reverend Linda, and I'm Kathy Cronin, and I will be doing our topic. But before I introduce the topic, I'd like to take a moment to let us get centered and to feel, that we can put it beside what's going on the outside and just have a few moments within ourselves and divine order. So let's relax, plant your feet firmly on the ground, just feel the support of Mother Earth, and just feel that you are all the way through your body, you are supported. If you'd like to close your eyes, that helps to bring you inward to not see the outer, but to see the inside, the inner self. And then practice some breathing, taking in a few deep breaths. Slow your breathing down. It clears your mind. It opens your body. It opens your heart. And it opens all your chakras. So as you take a deep breath in, and then just exhale, letting go of any tension. It brings you into the present moment. And you can put behind you anything else that was going on and just center this time into knowing that you are here to feed your soul, that this is the nourishment and help that your body and your mind and your heart and soul and your divine spirit is feeling that nourishment that comes from this time, that you can focus and center. And with this, we thank God for the many blessings, for giving us the opportunity to share our time with you and to bring these topics of wisdom and guidance. And we open our hearts to that which is being said, and we open our minds to the wisdom of the divine. And we thank you for these many blessings. Amen. So my topic today is about, is from a book that I've read. I am doing a Year of Miracles, which is the Course in Miracles study with Robert and Holly Holden. And Dr. Robert Holden wrote this book, Loveability, Knowing How to Love and Be Loved. And I took this chapter 2 that I thought was so appropriate and a simple way to look at it. And it's called Your Eternal Loveliness. And I want to just share some of the things that he wrote in this chapter. It says, why are babies so lovable? And what does this teach us about love and our own true nature? Babies hold our attention like nothing else. We gaze into their eyes. We watch their every move. We snap countless photos, and we study them while they sleep. I've always found babies, not just my own, to be wondrous and fascinating. And I know I'm not alone in this. So what is it we are seeing when we look at a baby? Babies are generally short, chubby, and toothless, without much hair, and they leak a lot at both ends. Every baby looks perfect. When you really pay attention to babies, you notice that their bodies are still in soft focus. They are barely physical. Their soul dances lightly across the body. They are pure energy. They are a vibration of love. They are a lively flame that is not weary or tired or confounded. They aren't putting on a face for the world to see. What you are witnessing is their true nature. They aren't going to be someone to be nice, to look good, or to be interesting. There are no pretenses. There is no deceit. There is no attempt to create a pleasing image. They aren't trying to be lovable. They just are. They haven't had time yet to make up a story to tell about how elusive love is, or how difficult love is, or how worthy or unworthy they are of love. They don't judge themselves. They They carry no grievances. They are not cynical yet. Have you ever met a cynical baby? Babies embody the basic truth about us, which is that we are all lovable. You see this eternal loveliness because you are looking with your heart, not just your physical eyes. At the same time, babies mirror your own eternal loveliness back to you. St. Francis of Assisi taught us that everyone is an expression of God's eternal loveliness. Moreover, he recognized that every animal, every plant, and every form of life is an expression of love. God extended himself in love, and we are all expressions of this love. The basic truth about you is I am lovable. Everybody's basic truth is I am lovable. This is true whether you remember or forget it. Our unconditional self is a consciousness of love that extends from the heart of God into the body of all creation. The word love and the word God are both pointing towards the same thing. They are both pointing at each of us. However, as the baby grows and takes on the conditioning of this world, it is possible to forget about love. A learned self takes the place of the unconditional self. This learned self is just a shadow. It is not real. However, when you identify with this learned self, you forget the basic truth. I am lovable. In this forgetting, the basic fear, I am not lovable, takes hold. And so, as Galway Kinnell wrote in his poem, St. Francis and the Sow, sometimes it is necessary to reteach a thing its loveliness. So he ends with a quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson. Love is our highest word and the synonym for God. So you are made of love, and this is the key to knowing how to love and be loved. Your purpose is to be an instrument of this love, is to extend this love through all your relationships. How do you do this? You start by identifying with love. Love is your original energy. It is the heart of who you are. It is the natural expression of your unconditional self and your eternal loveliness. When you remember this, you realize that, in truth, you already know how to love and be loved. So identify with love and you are safe. When you identify with love, you are at home. And when you identify with love, you are self. Those were his closing words. So with this, I thought about the essence of a baby and being able to, whenever I see a baby or a young child, what I can think of most is the eye contact. They will look you straight in the eyes. It's always eye to eye. Their soul is meeting your soul, and you'll see a smile come across their face. They just can feel that sense. The eyes are the mirrors to your soul. So sometimes Louise Hayes was really great about mirror work. And one of the things is that at times when I'm not feeling very lovable, or I'm feeling lonely or just disconnected, I do the mirror work and I look into my eyes, but I look to see the little Cathy, the baby Cathy, the pure essence of who I was as an infant. And sometimes it just takes a moment to just go back and remember you as that spontaneous child who was spunky and full of life and just went about and enjoyed your life, and just feel that energy of that inner you, that infant child within you who is there bursting forth and can bring forth that spirit of that loving, unconditional spirit of yourself. So I highly feel that for me, it's that time that I have to go back and be that childlike, thing, is like Jesus says, is give me the children, because they are so innocent and so pure. They are in the Spirit of God. So I want to open this up to the panel to share their thoughts about their eternal loveliness.
Well, I'll share. That's a lovely, lovely reading that and sharing that you did, Kathy, and called Loveability. And using a baby as that description was such a perfect way, because my understanding is we are born into absolute perfection. It's our soul. But then life starts to happen, so that human side of us starts to develop. And when it's happening in a positive way, then it's aligned with the spirit within. Unfortunately, all too often in life, it's not aligned, and that human self kind of takes over. What I've tried to do when I am around, well, let's just use when I teach in the jails. I don't look at what the woman or the man did. I don't look it up. And when they're speaking, I try and visualize them as a little child. And when I do that, I don't judge them, because I realize that, that pureness of them as a child is still there. It's just that life, took them in a different direction than what they were born to be. So I think just that whole concept of knowing that we are born into absolute perfection, and then life starts chipping away at us, either good or bad. And that's, why we look and say babies are so lovable, because life hasn't gotten a hold of them yet. And they're just pure spiritual honesty, 100% perfection. So that's what I wanted to share. But thank you for that topic, Kathy. It was really good.
I'll go next. When you started talking about babies, I was thinking of what I like most, and that's when they grin. Now, some people say, well, it's only gas. I think of it as a smile. And they grin at you and kick their legs. And what I see in them is enjoyment of life, that at that moment, they are happy. I want to tell you about an experience I had on the sidewalk in front of Unity Church. I was walking to the church, and a couple came towards me, and they had a little boy who was a toddler, but he was walking fine. And when he saw me, he ran up to me and hugged my legs. And I thought, what a loving child. And then I thought of kind of what Kathy was saying, then life gets a hold of you. One of the things that I think happens is that we are taught that loveability is conditional, that we will only be loved if we perform in this way or look that way. And when you think of how much time and energy people spend on image management, it's just appalling. There's got to be a much better use of our time. So I really liked this subject, and I'm always going to think of it whenever I see a baby again. So that's really all I've got to say. Thank you, Kathy, for bringing this up.
Okay, so much on this topic. Talking about babies, and when you were talking about how they draw our attention and pull us in, I've always felt like a part of that is conditioned into us to keep us here as a species. If they weren't that cute, not many of them would live as to grow into adults. I think they're adorable, so we will treasure them. and not choke them out at 2 o'clock in the morning. Personal thought. And a joke. I was kidding. I want to kind of undo a lot of what was said before I started talking. We do kind of pick up the idea that love is contingent upon how well we impress others, how pleasing we are, what we can do for other people. But as we grow and evolve, hopefully we recognize that love is unconditional and that what other people think of us is really none of our business. That when we live true to our purpose and that divine inner wisdom, that divine knowing within us, when we are in accord and alignment with that divine spark, we know unconditional love, and it doesn't come from the people around us. It's fun when the people around us all say, "Yay, you're wonderful, you're awesome." But even if they don't, we are still wonderful and awesome. And that knowing comes to us and through us from our divine nature. And I feel like I'm giving a whole lesson. Our loveliness is eternal, regardless of what we walk through. Some of us have, been maimed and mangled and twisted and turned physically, emotionally, intellectually, but none of that touches our divinity, that eternal loveliness that is a spark beyond our physical form or our physical life. And as we evolve, we realize that that eternal loveliness is something that we can see within every living person and bestow on every form of life and being. Like I said, I feel like I turned this into my lesson, and I didn't mean to. I was very moved and motivated by this topic. Thank you so much for letting me share.
Well, thank you, everyone. Anybody have anything else they want to add, or any other thoughts that have come up? I had a thought that in regards to our eternal loveliness and I recently had a conversation with a friend who has a point of view that that all people are bad. And it really hit a point in me that, how this person has bought into this negativity that we're all evil or, we're bad people. And it was, I wish I had read this chapter before I had talked to her about the thing is that, my rebuttal to that was the fact that if you're saying that, then you're telling me that you and your husband are, are not good people. And I see you as hardworking, honest, wonderful. And so it sort of is like, it just becomes a matter of how we perceive it. And sometimes when we see some of the negativity of some adults out there and their behaviors, sometimes it does take a matter like Cathy Richman shared is, the people that are incarcerated, seeing that child, that poor innocent child, and what they may have gone through that brought them to this, and just loving that inner essence, that eternal loveliness within them, that they may find that is that we can all turn our lives around and we can choose to, find the positive, to, believe in the good in someone and see that. And I think if we can just remember to look at people and remember that at some point in time, they were a baby and they were loved. They brought an essence, and that truth, and that is that look within there to their eternal loveliness. Then we start to spread out to the world that people are inherently good and loving and caring people, and that, we are all lovable. And how to love, how to be loved and how to love is to recognize that within ourselves and others. So if you have any comments you want to make about our topic, please leave those. Let us know what your thoughts are. Share anything that you want us to know. If there's topics you want to bring or something that you've read or like to take, something into further discussion, we're open to hearing your feedback. If you like this topic, please, give us a thumbs up. Share this with other people that may be needing to hear about how their eternal loveliness is, and that they just may need to know that they are loved and they can be loved. And if you'd like to join our panel, we are always open to new people, coming with their topics and sharing their thoughts with us. It's not, you're not giving us thing to thing. It just brings something that you've read. Like I just read this the other day and thought, oh, this is a great thing I'd like to share with others. So, you can do that. So we welcome all of you. Please reach out to the church if you'd like to do that. At the end of this is, how you can become a part of our panel, and subscribe. Please become one of our subscribers and sharing this with others. So thank you, everyone. And thank you to my panel. This was I love your input and your essence and your, just the openness that we all bring. So thank you and bye, everyone.
Thank you for joining us, and let's stay connected and grow in spirit. We are on Facebook. Search for Unity Church of El Cajon and follow us and like our posts. You can reach us on YouTube at Unity Church of El Cajon. Please subscribe to our channel, watch our videos, and leave comments which can help us improve. We are on the web at unityofelcajon.org. Email or call our church office to receive our weekly newsletters, which lists all of our activities and opportunities to learn and grow together.